So excited to welcome my next guest, Karmen Lamer. First of all, amazing name.
Thank you. I could never change it.
Like truly, is that your real last name?
It is. I've been married twice. Have I changed my last name? Not even
No.
once.
Epic. So Karmen is the founder of Tight Clinic, a female-founded business that provides cutting-edge, non-surgical skincare treatments and the finest medical-grade products to help people reach their individual self-care goals. Yes!
That's what we do, baby.
That's what you do. Well, welcome.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank you. Cheers.
We're drinking wine.
As we should.
As we should. It's 4 p.m.
And it's basically Friday. It's a long weekend.
It really is. Oh, yeah, it is a long
Right?
weekend. My God.
We close for 4 days every long weekend. So, yeah, it's my Friday.
Hell
anyways.
yeah. Well, perfect. I was telling Karmen that I'm always trying to pressure people to drink wine with me on this podcast. And she's the only one that said yes.
I love this. I don't know what this says about us, but I like it. It's perfect.
I like it a lot. Okay, we have a fun episode. So, na zdrowie. Karmen, I want you to tell me about your journey and just kind of give us the lay of the land. How did you get to where you're at today?
So I basically worked in corporate for like 20 years, and I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was younger, and I sort of fell into the jewelry industry while putting my first husband through university. I was working like 5 jobs, and I was waitressing at this tiny little Italian restaurant, and once a week this man would come in and I served the whole restaurant by myself, 17 tables, and he was like, your time management skills are fucked. And then I found out like over time, this went on for a couple years, he owned a jewelry shop, and he was like, you need to come and work for me. So I was like, all right. So I went to work for him, and I was part-time. And within 6 months, I was the manager of his first location. And then within a year, I was director of operations for his company.
Wow.
And then we opened up several locations, and we dealt in like big diamonds, big things. It was in Edmonton, and it was quite the journey. And after that, my journey continued, and I ended up working for the Richemont Group as a director for several different brands. And then I turned 30, and I was like, fuck, 30 sucks. And I got engaged, and I was like, yay!
Yeah.
And
Turned it around.
Yeah, turn it around. And then the universe was like, now you have cancer. And I was like, fuck. So there was like no winning at 30.
Insane.
So diagnosed with cancer, went through chemo and radiation for about a year. I did radiation every day, chemo once a week.
Oh my God.
And then after that, I was like, I'm going to go right back to work and just pretend everything is fine. And then I had a full-on fucking midlife crisis.
Yeah.
And I was like, this does not make me happy. Plus I started to look really old because the chemo radiation just like really took a toll on me.
Of course.
And so I was in the hospital, and I was reading Vogue magazine, and there was an article about formifacial, and I'm like, I've never heard that word before. So found out what it was, contacted the company, and I was like, this machine must be like $10,000, $20,000, like 10 times that. I was like, how the fuck am I going to swing this? So I spent everything that I had, quit my job, and opened up the first clinic in my condo. And then people would come over, like, so I had a few amazing influencers come through at the beginning, and they were really like women support women, and they were incredible, and they would post about me. And then we got really busy really fast. I was very lucky, but the technology was incredible. The support was incredible. So right away I was like slammed. People would walk into my condo and be like, do you live here? And I was like, no.
No, do you?
Yeah. I'm like, that's
weird. That's a weird question.
So it was a 3-bedroom condo, and I worked out of a big room that we like knock the wall down in, and like people will come in and wait in my living room. And we also had a spare bedroom. Within 3 months, I was so busy, I hired somebody else. I bought another machine, and she was working out of my spare bedroom. And then people didn't ask me if I lived there anymore because there was 2 of us and it looked legit, you know? And so, yeah, that's how it started. And now we have 2 locations. We bought a huge building. It's going to be almost 10,000 square feet when we're done with it.
That's huge.
3 levels. We have almost 30 staff, and I think like 15 machines, and a whole bunch of, like, we have so much stuff going on, and it was very organic, but it was definitely midlife crisis.
You know, I feel like you either thrive or shit goes real south 100%. In a crisis like that. And you obviously are thriving.
We're thriving.
You're thriving. Can we talk more about your journey with cancer? I mean, that is insane that you went through that, and to see you today, you look like obviously amazing and healthy. And
Yeah,
That's huge. Like, what was that like?
So this is another thing that is so, I'm allowed to swear on this podcast, right?
You fucking sure are.
Fucking right. Okay. So this is why I think I do a lot of the things that we do the way that we do them, because females are very forgotten in the healthcare system. And also I find the beauty industry in itself very exploitive, however we're going to say that, of women in general. So I wanted to do things completely different. So basically, I moved here from out west, and I didn't have a family doctor here. And my husband was like, back then boyfriend, he was like, here, come to my family doctor. And he was like this Armenian man in his 50s, 60s. And some weird shit was happening down here. It was cervical cancer, but some weird things were happening. And it like insane amount of discharge and like really weird things. I'd bleed after sex. And so I kept going to him and I was like, can I get a pap? And he was like, we only pap once every 3 years here.
Yeah.
And I was like, something's wrong. And he's like, well, you're not due yet. Can you give me your previous medical history that shows that this has been like, you've had a pap within 3 years, whatever. My ex-husband's father, his practice were my previous doctors. And I was like, I'm not calling them. So whatever. So he kept just like giving me a swab. He's like, swab yourself. And then he'd send it to the lab. He's like, you're fine. Like, you're fine. This went on for a year. And I asked him so many times. And then we went on vacation and something crazy happened. Like, I passed a piece of tissue through my body. And I was like, something's really fucking wrong. So I bypassed him and I went straight to Mount Sinai. And I was there for probably like 9 hours. And I should have known at that point something was really wrong. And then somebody called me 2 weeks later and they're like, you have to come down here. And I was like, I'm working, I'm busy, I can't come. And they're like, we can't tell you this over the phone. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to. And so they told me on the phone I was stage 2C. My tumor was 7 centimeters in diameter, and that thing falling out of my body was my tumor because it was so big. And like, I don't know how someone could possibly miss that and miss the symptoms and all of that. So that was fucked.
Oh my God.
So the chemo, the radiation, probably like 5 surgeries. It was a lot of stuff. But it's either going to kill you or make you stronger. And bitch, like nothing can kill me now.
That is fucking insane.
Crazy.
It is crazy. And it's so sad to hear that, because I think a lot of women are like shooed away and not listened to, and they're ignored. I have a friend that's going through some health issues now, and the system is broken. It's really sad to see, and you have to advocate for yourself.
Look at the
fucking
to be pushy tampon shit that's happening right now. And they're like, oh, it's never been tested. How crazy is that we're shoving these things into our body, everyone between the ages of 12 and 50, for the last 40, 50 years, whatever it is. It's tampons have been around, but no one's tested it. Like, women are very, it's crazy. It makes me mad.
Yeah. Well, you made it through. Yeah. So how many years in remission?
It's been it's been 11 years since I was diagnosed. Yeah. And they didn't put me really in remission until last summer. Wow. I would go every 3 months. I had an oncologist and then I had a radiologist, and I would go, and like they had differing views on different things, but they would have to test me all the time. And then last summer they were like, you don't have to come back anymore. And I was like, oh my God.
Huge.
Yeah. So we're happy.
How do you feel like that experience has shaped you, I guess, as a person / how you show up in business?
I feel like when people get really upset about little things don't really bother me anymore. And also like, you're as strong as you think you are. You know, I could have gone through that whole thing being a victim. Yeah. And being like, oh my God, poor me. The fucked up thing is I didn't tell anyone that I was sick except for my parents, my husband's parents, and one friend. Because I didn't want people feeling sorry for me. I was like, let me just get through this. Yeah. And then at the end of it, I showed up for dinner. Everyone's like, oh my God, I feel like you haven't seen you in like a year. I was like, yeah, I had cancer. I mean, everyone was like, what the fuck? But I felt like if people felt sorry for me, then I'd be like, oh, maybe this is really sad. You know, I just wanted to focus and get through it. And after I was like, I knew it would be fine. Yeah. But yeah.
Wait, what's your zodiac sign?
Gemini.
You're a Gemini. Okay, that makes sense. What's your rising and your moon?
Oh man, I'll have to open CoStar and look. I can never remember.
Oh my God, Carmen, you don't remember?
I know.
I know.
It's very unlike me. Trust me. I feel like there's so many things
Yeah.
going on in my brain, but I can't
Okay,
open CoStar and tell
interesting.
you.
We
Yeah.
will be opening CoStar shortly.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
That is a good perspective, and I feel like a good way to kind of spin it and be able to, because in business there are so many things that come up. It's crazy, shit be crazy all damn day.
Yes.
And so to at least have that perspective to know, like, I've survived some shit.
And
I'm going to be okay.
I think it's also made me very empathetic of other women. And when women come in and like want to have something done, we say no to a lot of people. And I'm like, you don't need that. Or you shouldn't be doing that. Or, you know, some even like filler wise, people will come in and be like, I want to do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, the rule is you start with one little thing and then you come back in 2 weeks and then we'll talk about it. But I feel like people like have a mentee be about something. They got fired from their job. They broke up with their boyfriend. Someone told them they were fat, whatever it is, something that is not going to matter in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So we just don't let people do crazy shit.
That's nice.
Which is good. Because, you know, got to listen.
That's a good rule to have. Do one, come back in 2 weeks and see how you feel. It's so easy to go overboard. And you see, obviously, a lot of people go overboard.
And like, number one, I don't want anyone being like, where'd you get that done? You know, when they have a crazy face and they're like, Tight Clinic. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have a bunch of walking billboards, right? Of people looking really tight and good.
Right.
And that's how you do it. That's how you build the business.
And plus, I don't like taking money from women who, again, like this industry can be very exploitative. Is it exploitive or exploitative? Exploitive? Exploited.
I am an immigrant and English was my second language. I want to say exploitative. Exploitative?
I'm going to text you later. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to send like Webster's dictionary. Neither of us know. It's fine. But yes, I don't want to.
But I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, you're not trying to exploit women. It's not just about the money. It's really about, I love that. That's a good philosophy to have. And that's probably a big reason why you guys have grown so much as you have, because people trust you.
Damn right.
Yeah, damn right, girl.
Damn right.
Did you know that you always wanted to start your own business? Was that something in the back of your mind?
You know what? I felt like throughout all of my 20s and 30s, I was performing at a very high level for someone else's business in many different areas, like from the service industry to the jewelry industry. I was in fashion for a while. And like at one point I was looking after 11 jewelry stores and had like hundreds of employees. And I learned the ins and outs. And I felt like at some point, probably like in my late 20s, I was like, I could do this. I just don't know how I'm going to find the money to start something.
Yeah.
You know, but I felt like I would know what to do. And then when I did it, it turns out like at the beginning, you don't need money. You just need to like believe in yourself and be able to like take that risk.
Yeah.
And know that like if I didn't fuck this up for all these other companies, I'm damn well not going to fuck it up for myself. And like you're going to make it work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's scary to start, but once you start, girl, there's no going back.
I know there really isn't. No. I am completely unhireable.
Oh, me too.
It's insane. Like you kind of just go down a path and you're like, cool, I guess I'm never getting a job again.
Can you imagine?
No.
Like someone
I truly
giving
can.
I truly can. Or being like, you can't wear that to work.
I know. It's really nice. It's obviously terrifying. I had a bit of a mentee bee last night. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
You know, it comes in waves. It's a lot.
Good mentee bee never hurt anyone though, because I feel like it's just like a flash flood of emotions through your body.
You need to feel it.
You feel it.
Yes.
And then it's like,
and then it goes away. If you resist it, then it's worse. But if you just feel it out,
100%.
It's good. Yeah. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced early on, and how do you feel like those challenges have changed now that you guys are at the stage that you're at today?
So I feel like at the beginning, the challenges were like, how are we going to pay for this stuff? How are we going to like become busy? And like, how do we grow? And then it all came very naturally and very organically, and you figure it out. As we grew, it was crazy because again, we almost have 30 staff now, and having staff members, the way they interact with each other, or if there's issues with that, and like hiring people and then being like, after you've hired them, you're like, oh God, I really don't like this person. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, yeah. Like that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
But then you just want your clients to be happy, your staff to be happy, all of the things. And I think our struggle has always been, how do we grow to here? And then once you grow to there, you're like, okay, now what? And it's like, for me, it's never, it's enough, it's done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a fucking psychopath where like, at some point we might have 10 locations or 15 locations or 20 locations.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like now we go international. It's never like, okay, we made it, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's next?
Yeah. It's always like you're hitting that ceiling and then you're on to the next, which poses its whole new slew of challenges.
And you know what? I feel like some
Yeah.
people have like a vice and they're like a gambler or whatever. I feel like
Yeah.
this is me gambling, but like in
Yeah.
life. Do you know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, like we're here. That's also the cancer
interesting.
talking. We're here for a good time, not for a long time. So I'm like, let's fucking go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
That you're gambling, but like with life.
Yeah.
I truly, my philosophy has been, I say this a lot, like when I need some perspective, truly, we are a floating speck of dust in space and none of this matters. And I
It's
know like
true.
it, for some people that might be like a really daunting, scary thing to think about. But for me, it's like freeing because we get so caught up in our thoughts and what we're doing and everything is so important and everything has so much weight. But it's like, really, it doesn't really matter. Like, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Be happy. That's
Just
the
fucking
big
do
one.
it.
That's
Just
the
do
big
it.
one.
Don't just be thinking about it forever. Take the step. Do the fucking thing. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. No one's going to care in 50 years. No one's going to care in 5 years.
That's the thing though, is like, I think in our teens and our 20s, we're consumed by the fact that we think everything we're doing is so important and everyone
Yeah.
cares and everyone cares about what you're
No
doing.
one cares.
The older you get, no one gives a fucking shit what you're doing.
Literally.
They just care what
nobody
they're doing. Do you know what I
cares.
mean?
Everyone is their own main character.
That 100%. And if you're
Yeah.
not, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
You got to be your own main character. It's
Yeah.
your story.
Romanticize your life.
Yeah.
Go for it. Take a
Yeah.
risk.
I love that. What would you say to your younger self looking back now?
My younger self, I think,
When you think about your younger self, what age is she?
when I think about my younger self, I think about like a 13-year-old.
same.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
think we'll ever get past that age. Like,
Yeah.
you feel so young and like immortal.
Yeah.
And everything is like ahead of you and everything is so exciting, but also
Yeah.
you have no confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like look at myself and say, like, nobody cares what you look like. You know, don't worry so much about what you should be doing. Just be kind, show up for yourself, you know, and focus on
Yeah.
yourself. Don't worry about other people. I think we worried so much about what other people thought about us. Now, someone could straight up come up to me and be like, I think you're dumb and you're ugly. And I'd be like, I feel like that some days. But most of the time, I'm like, I am fucking amazing. And like, that's it.
Yeah.
Or else I just play like, you know what I mean? I'm like, what? Probably think they're Queen Street crazy, you know?
Yeah,
Just keep
yeah.
walking.
I love that. It's interesting when you think about that younger self and like what age they are. And I think of like, for me, it's the 13-year-old girl for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just read a really cool book. I'll send it to you, called Beautyland.
Yeah.
And it's about this girl who is actually an alien, and she's implanted in this woman and born into the earth. But she, every time she goes to sleep at night, since when she's a baby, she's like in a night classroom, and she's like talking to these aliens and reporting back about what's
Oh my
happening on
God,
Earth.
stop.
But it's in the 80s and 90s, and so I felt like reliving our lives, like going through
Yeah.
all those times and whatever. But also, this chick's a freaking alien, and she knows it. And like, it was such an interesting thing. And I'm like, oh, to be 13 again. And I'm like, also, how enviable to be an alien.
I would love to be an alien.
Maybe we are aliens.
Maybe we are aliens. Please send me this book.
I will. It's amazing.
I'm not a huge reader. I want to be. I want to pick up a book. I want to read it before
Maybe
bed.
this is the one.
It could be the one. I'm actually very intrigued.
It's a great book, and it's well written. Like, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be like, "Is this real?" The whole book, I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" It was so enjoyable. I slammed it in maybe 2.5 hours.
What?
Yeah, I'm a fast reader though.
Okay, well.
You'll love
okay.
it.
Add that to your list of skills.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm probably a slow.
Once you start,
Yeah.
it's like riding a bike, you know?
Okay. All right. I'll try.
Yeah, good.
So we connected about this, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper, but about being witches.
Yes. Yes.
We recognized that very early on. So you and I had lunch
Yes.
with Nagin. Love you, Nagin.
We love her.
And immediately I just felt like guard down, super silly, loved it. We talked about witchy shit. I love women who are in touch with their witchy side. I think it's really important. We're very intuitive. We're very like aligned. We can be.
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot of power when you are fully aligned with the universe. Like we even talked about, I told you like my period came early.
Yes.
Because it was literally synced up with the full moon right before the big event.
Yes.
Powerful.
Powerful.
But how do you feel like that witchiness has impacted your business?
So it's interesting because I feel like everything is energy. And I've been very open about this on my Instagram from the very beginning. And I remember when I first started out in the condo, there was all these fucking cool women.
Yeah.
There was Alex Jasson from Rebel Mama. There was Alex Malkin. There was Louisa Duran, who's Drake's makeup artist. There was all these cool women who came through my space in my condo. And we would talk while I was doing their forma.
Yeah.
And like we'd always talk about witchy things and spiritual things. And I remember being like, I'm going to host a witch circle. And like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do this. And because we talked about this, and picture like I'm behind the chair and I was behind the chair with 8 women a day for an hour and all these talks about energy and witchiness and whatever. So I invited 10 people to my house and we did like, we drew cards. We did it was a full moon. So we did like a ceremony and we wrote things down and we burned them. And then we like went and buried them in the earth. And then I started talking about this on my Instagram and so many women feel this and they do things on new moon. They do things on full moon and like they have these rituals. And to me, it's really important. And even if I'm just by myself, like I think I've already picked a card for you.
Yeah, you have. You've picked several.
But like when I'm lost, I will look to the deck and the cards that I have are like these archetype cards and it doesn't matter what you're feeling. I will like feel for the heat, pull it out and read it for whether it's for myself or somebody else. And it always brings clarity. But I feel like in my business, people will come and bring gifts like all the time. People will bring me crystals. They'll bring Palo Santo. I've been gifted probably like 15 or 20 decks of cards. And people come full knowing, being like, I brought you something witchy. And I was like, I like you. You can stay.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's really powerful. I learned how to read tarot when I did a solo trip to Bali.
That's cool.
In 2019. I was there for a month and I stumbled upon this deck in a bookstore and was immediately just like fascinated by it and started learning how to do it. And I just feel like there's something so beautiful about sharing that experience with someone. It's like, I don't think it's like fortune telling. I think it's like going into your subconscious and kind of clearing some shit up. Like if I did a reading for you, you would interpret it differently than I would interpret it for myself.
Yes.
It's like, it's therapeutic in a way. And so when you share that experience with someone of like, okay, now we're going to read these cards. This is what it means, to you. And you realize like, we're all just human and we all have things that we're worried about. We all have things we need clarity about. I don't know. It's just, I think when I'm an old lady in my 80s, I want to have a little room in my house that's covered in like crystals and velvet and flowers, and I just want to like read cards for people.
It sounds sexy. I love it.
Right? I didn't tell you this. I went to a psychic today.
Stop it right now. How did you not lead with this earlier?
Because I wanted to save it for right now.
Oh
I had a psychic reading today. It actually kind of was my first like official psychic reading.
Tell me everything.
Oh yeah, it was good. So it was a lady in her house and she immediately, as I sat down, she was like, whoa, your energy. She said that I had very positive energy, that I had a lot of like angel kind of people around me and an animal, which I think it's my old cat, Max. He was awesome. And she said that I help people. And that she's like, are you a counselor or a teacher? And I was like, no, but like my job is literally the only way that League of Originals is successful is if I'm helping all of these businesses and like supporting people. We talked a little bit about relationship.
13-year-old girl just came out here.
She said good things. But she said also like we need time to figure out what it could be, but she found very good energy in him.
I love that.
And yeah, and like that, the business is on the right path. I'm doing what I need to be doing. It was very, very positive and reassuring. She also said I was gonna live to be 91 or 92.
Fuck yeah.
I love that.
And guess what? Coming to Tight Clinic, you're still going to look like 32. You're going to be robbing the cradle left, right, and center.
Fuck yeah.
It's going to be a whole thing. I love that.
Yeah, so it was cool, but like, you know, could that be me? Yes.
100%.
Very strong chance of that.
Claps. I love that. Is she in this area?
She was on Keel and Bloor.
Okay, so not in this area.
Not in this area.
But she was legit. We go back to her.
She was great. Yeah. I would definitely go back to her. It was awesome. So anyway, so I say we continue on with our witchy stuff.
Stunning.
Let's read some cards.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Look at that shuffle.
Okay. So, thank you. Not my first rodeo, so I'm going to pull 3 cards.
Stunning.
And we'll just do a high level reading. Maybe
Beautiful.
think about the intention and like anything you want some clarity on, some guidance on.
We thinking. And also, it's giving Las Vegas right now. Being that you live in LA, do you go to Vegas often?
No.
I used to have to. I hate Vegas.
Vegas so much.
In the jewelry industry, they have a huge show there every May.
Yeah.
And there's 3 shows back to back, so it's like 2 weeks. So Sarah and I, for 15 years in a row, both of us, were in Las Vegas for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
I would rather die,
Hell.
I think, than ever go back.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, no, I don't go unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're good.
I like this deck.
It's beautiful.
It's stunning.
Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I want you to pick 3 cards. Just feel it out.
Ooh, hot as fuck over there. This bitch is calling to me.
Take both. Let's do an extra. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so we have. Okay. We've got the Moon, the Knight of Swords, the 2 of Wands, and the 3 of Swords. So the Moon is a time where things feel more intense than they really are. Like, you don't make decisions in the middle of the night, you know? So like the opposite of this card would be the Sun, where it's like things are clear, it's optimistic. The Moon is a little bit more like emotional, it's in the dead of night. It's a time where you aren't going to make big decisions. You want to wait it out until you have a bit more clarity.
Beautiful.
The Moon. Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords, swords represent like your intellect, your mind, ideas. The Knight of Swords is gathering information as quickly as possible, but not deeply. So you're like rushing through something to like learn, but you're not getting to like the depths of it. So super wide, but not, or super broad, but not deep
Makes sense.
in terms of information.
That's accurate.
2 of Wands. So this usually has to do with like creativity or projects or career. The 2 of Wands is the beginning of something, and you're almost looking at like path A, path B, and there's so much potential, but you're at the beginning stages of that and figuring out which direction that you want to go.
I love that. Also accurate. Ooh, the witchiness.
And then the 3 of Swords. So this is like, I mean, you guys see this card. So it's like a heartbreak card in a way. But it doesn't only have to do with like love. It could be like the ending of something so that something new can begin.
Yeah.
Also having to do with like your mind, right? So anything with the swords is like ideas, thoughts, your intellect.
I think that's talking about the new building and all the shit that's going on with it. And there's just so much.
Yeah, it's very intense.
Yeah.
So
that was amazing.
That's the little reading that we
feel
got
great.
for you.
I feel great about that.
Yeah. Does that resonate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love doing this. It's so fun.
Are you ready to
I'm
are you ready for this?
I'm so ready. And you know what it is? I'm always reading cards for people. I want my cards read. You know, like I want someone. That's why when I went to a psychic today, I was like, yes, someone. Give me some guidance. Help me. Oh, here, hey, move your mic so that we can hear all the lovely things you have to say. There we go.
Help me.
Help me.
Okay, so with this deck,
This deck is so beautiful, by the way.
it's stunning. I actually have two of them, and then one of them is in storage, and then I ordered like I need to have one of these with me at all times.
Yeah.
But basically, with this deck, I just like to roll them out, feel for heat, pick one, and then I'm gonna read you a high level of what the meaning is. But
Okay.
do one of these.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Let's bring this guy out. No, he's calling to me. This guy.
Ooh,
What is it?
the
Wait.
heart.
The heart.
After our previous conversations, we are witches.
Okay, what is
What
it?
do you see? What do you see?
What do I
there?
see? So I see two people on a boat. It's calm waters. They are rowing somewhere, and then there's kind of like two cosmic energies together. And it's all wrapped up in like, it looks like kind of like wheat and flowers.
Does that bring anything to mind?
A wee bit.
A wee bit. Okay.
A wee bit, you know.
Okay, now that fucking
Curious
tricky
what it's
thing
about.
is-
So the thing about cards, if y'all are not familiar, is first you want to kind of identify the symbolism within the card. It's not, you know, like, yes, we have books and we could read what it is, but it's also nice to like first kind of get your feeling on it. So I've never seen this card before, the heart. And yeah, you kind of get a feel for it. And it's obviously pink.
Okay,
Okay,
so
let's hear what it says.
the heart. If it is possible from an imaginal point of view to sense the heart as a place, either we are there within the realm of expansion and compassion, or we have drifted somewhere else. There's no in between. It's common for us to leave this archetypal center without realizing it, as the world, with its seductive twists and turns, offers us frequent departure. We may even become a stranger to the landscape of the heart, leaving it vacant for long stretches of time. The seat of the heart is often reclaimed by nature, music, dance, and the presence of children or animals. This card encourages us to move past the layers of life's tangles and knots and enter the wild and sacred center of the self. The most precious throne in the galaxy is awaiting your return. Okay.
Okay. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting because I feel like my heart is being kind of opened up recently, and it scares me. Literally
Terrifying.
my initial reaction is like fear. I'm like, oh my God, this is uncomfortable. I'm literally uncomfortable. It is entering a place that I like haven't been in a while. So yeah.
So how crazy is that? Is as we stopped to draw the cards, it was 444, and you have a
Yes.
444 tattooed
yes.
on your body,
On my literal body.
on your literal body.
Yes.
And then yeah, we were talking about this, and then it came out. See, we are witches, and the universe is always trying to tell us
Yeah.
something, and like
If you're listening and you're open, there are a lot of signals. I am fully a believer in that, 100%. I basically live my life that way. I make all my decisions based on how I feel.
me too. I'm like, how to succeed in business? I'm like, follow your heart, follow your emotions, follow your mind.
Follow the moon.
Just follow the moon. Follow the moon.
Follow the moon.
Yeah, always.
Okay. Oh my God. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's so fun. Okay. Well, this is new on the podcast. We have never drawn some cards. Next up, I have some very silly rapid fire questions
Stunning.
for
I can't
you.
wait.
I did not share these with you beforehand. Because I wanted it to be a surprise.
You
and
want to know what a weirdo
wanted-
I am? Is that even what you sent over earlier, I'm like, I'd rather be surprised.
Oh, well, that's good.
It's more fun.
It is more
It's
fun.
more fun.
It is. So, okay. So then you'll like this.
Yes, great.
Okay. Ready, set, go. What? Okay. Also,
Yes.
the answers have to be quick.
Okay,
We're going
fine.
quick here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. What's your morning drink of choice?
Water,
What is your evening drink of choice?
wine.
What do you think people's first impression is of you?
Crazy.
No.
I would say vibrant.
Vibrant. That's
Vibrant.
good. That's good. What is something most people don't know about you?
That's a really good question. It's supposed to be fast. I'm a witch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Most people don't know that.
What's the best business advice you've ever been given?
Just fucking do it.
What are you scared of?
Failing at anything.
Who would play you in a movie?
Ooh, Margot Robbie, bitch, would fucking slay.
Okay, hot. Who's your favorite person in the world?
My husband. God bless him.
What's your favorite tarot card? Do you have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite. They're all my favorites.
I have a favorite.
What's your favorite?
Queen of Pentacles. Because she's
Ooh.
ruled by Taurus. I want to get her tattooed on my body, literally.
You
Like,
should
she's
definitely
just
do
the
that.
ultimate. Yeah. It's on my list. What is your favorite city in the world?
Favorite city in the world would have to be Tokyo.
Oh my God, fun. I gotta go. What's your favorite app on your phone?
Oh God, I hate to fucking say it because I'm a basic bitch if I say it.
TikTok?
No, Instagram. Just
Instagram.
because I deal with my community so much on there.
Yeah.
And every time I open up, there's like a million messages, and some are love and support or questions. And like, I feel like when I go there, I go home.
Oh,
It makes me really happy.
that's very sweet. So you run your own?
Yeah. Literally, someone has taken over every aspect of my business. I would never let someone take that over because the Instagram is me and it's authentic, but also people
Yeah.
will write things and they'll ask things and they're very personal.
Yeah.
I would never let anyone else read that. So if you guys are listening, don't worry, no one else knows your secrets. I change my password often because I get scared.
I love that. Okay, last question. Why do you think you're so good at what you do?
I think I'm so good at what I do because I fucking love it. And I think I have everyone else's interest at heart, truly. Like, it's my joy to make people look good and feel good. And also at the end of time, like, my biggest fear is failing. And so
Yeah.
I try my fucking hardest every single day. And it's like, I'm just there 2,000%. So I think that's why.
I love it.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you so much for being here. That was so fun.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, my dear.
Cheers. Let's
Nas
do this
zdrowia.
again with tequila next
100%
time.
tequila next time.